Hello everyone. This is a video about how to take a model that you've made and export it to Blender, and in Blender animate something simple and then take that animation and move it to Unity. Okay, let me start with a screen from Make Human. This is something that I created, a model of a 11-year-old girl. It says here age 11, and you see all the information about the model, and that's set up in some information sliders you can change over there. But that's really for you to experiment with and to have some fun putting together different models. There are different things I want to point out and make human that may be useful for you. You can change, for example, the face and look at different things and make different expressions, so it's a great way of modeling someone who you might want to have in your game. You can change the way the model looks. You can change its gender information, or arms and legs to change the hands, and so forth. So that's pretty useful. So you can do all those different things. Now, for our purposes, the most important thing for working with Unity is that you add a skeleton. Now, we looked at in another video putting a skeleton into a small stick figure, and it was hard. Wasn't that hard? It was hard. It was hard to move all these little bones around and get them just right. Well, it turns out that Make Human does that all for you. And you can see over here you can select a set of bones for a game engine, or you can say a default for no toes, or do it in the CMU style bones, and you can see they're a little bit different. But if you just select game engine, and then you can save it and you can pose it, you can give different expressions. Golly, there's a lot you can do here. But for the time being, let me come back to files. And of course, you can also do things in modeling that deals with geometries, deals with clothes, for example, where you can select different clothes to put on your model, and eyes and teeth and eyebrows and all that kind of stuff, including all these materials. And you can change the way that the avatar looks as well, you can see there. But all that aside, one of the things I want to show you that's important here is there is a button called Export. And in Export, you can go and select Make Human Exchange. And remember this MHX2, Make Human Exchange 2, and this means the second one they've done like this. Once you've done that and you press Export, it creates a file. It asks you where to put the file. I called it Jesse Model 2, and it's out on in your directory on your computer. Well, let's see what happens. Now, let me move over to Blender, and there's Blender. Well, I have to get that model into Blender. It turns out, fortunately enough, if you look at the user preferences in Blender and you type in MHX2, you'll find it's already part of Blender that you can put a check box by and then click Save User Settings, and it will have a import section added to where you import things from other entities like Make Human. So I'm done. I've saved the user settings, and let's suppose I have an empty scene here. I can go to File and then say Import. And on Import, because I did that with the properties and loading up Rigify, as it's called, it has Make Human. And you can say Import an MHX2 file into Blender. If you do that, you get this. Looks like the Jesse model we had, but golly, it's got more stuff in it. It's got the file, plus it's got the bones already in here, and you can see the fingers are all set up, and the legs and the feet and the toes and all. Now, you say it doesn't look like the one we had. Well, it turns out if you hold down your Shift key in Blender and press Z, it does. And there it is. Your model immediately brought over from Make Human. Pretty good. So I'm just going to go back to this one and talk to you about changing the way you model things. You see this? If I click on it, or this one, it turns color. And I have selected what's called pose mode down here. Let's just suppose that we don't want to do anything much except, let's just have Jessie turn her head here. So I'm going to select this bone, and I'm going to say that we ought to really figure out how do you make her head rotate. Well, we're in pose mode, and what we do is to create an animation. This section of the screen down here is the animator window. And the animator window lets us start with an animation at this point and then change it to other points, and it interpolates between two animations. Let's see what that means. Okay, Jessie's just looking straight ahead now. And so let me save this. And I'm going to say Insert Rotation. Okay, that captures what this bone is and where it is in rotating right there. Let me move her head, I don't know, to the left, for example. Let's see. I think I type a R for that. R. Oh no, that's moving the head up and down. But I want to rotate in what? What is it you think it is? I think it's the Z direction. Yes, just like that. And so I want to create this animation of Jessie rotating her head like that. So let me move this over here, all that way, to the left, and have it move over to the left, along in, let's make it relatively slow. And when we get to 10 seconds, it should be over here. So now I'm going to rotate it. R, whoops, wonder what that was, Z. R, Z, there we go. Okay, I'm now at 10 seconds. So I'm going to press Insert Rotation. I've inserted the rotation. And now let me go over to 20 seconds and rotate the head back. R, Z, back to where it was. Maybe move it all the way over. How about all the way over here? Okay, and then press Insert Rotation. Now, and then I'll go back to say at 30 and have this come back to looking straight forward again. So I can press R, Z, well, I'm looking ahead again, and press Insert Rotation. Now, so this is the entire animation. Just moves the head over to the left, then goes to the right, and back to the center. Sort of like no, or something like that. So we've got those animations now, and we'd like this to go up to 0 to 30, and then maybe start over. So why don't I make the animation start at animation frame 1 and go up to frame 30 and stop there. So let's see what this looks like. Maybe we can play it. How do you like that? Now, isn't that something? It works. Well, I'm going to next. Well, let me stop that. It looks like it works perfectly. Okay, I'm going to then export this with FBX. The FBX will, in fact, we'll put it somewhere, and then I'll get it back to you in a bit. But let me just put it right now in, I'll just call it Jesse Head .fbx. And on the next video, we'll come back and put that into Unity and see what we get. So I'll see you very shortly for the next video.